The Bread of Kindness, a tale of rescue and redemption. In the quaint village of Willow Creek, nestled in Oregon's snowy valleys, stood the little bakery, Hearth Hope. Winter had draped the town in a thick blanket of snow, turning the streets silent and still. On a frigid morning, Daniel, a 38-year-old baker with a quiet demeanor, unlocked the shop as he did every day. Hearth Hope wasn't just his livelihood, it was his sanctuary, inherited from his late father who taught him the art of bread. Daniel's hands kneaded dough with care, his warm smile greeting every customer, though a lingering loneliness shadowed his heart. This morning began like any other. He stepped outside to clear the snow from the doorstep, shovel in hand. But as he scraped the icy path, he stopped cold, his breath catching at the sight before him. A weathered wooden crate sat against the bakery wall, its edges splintered and worn. "What's this?" Daniel muttered, his brow furrowing as he set the shovel aside. He approached cautiously, peering into the crate, and what he saw stole the air from his lungs. Inside were 4 children, bundled in threadbare coats, their small bodies trembling in the frost. The youngest, barely 2, clutched a tattered scarf, while the others, aged perhaps 3 to 6, pressed close together. Their wide, fearful eyes met his, and Daniel's heart thudded with a mix of shock and sorrow. "Good Lord," he whispered, kneeling down. "What are you doing out here?" The oldest, a boy of about 6 with matted brown hair, flinched as Daniel reached out a hand. "Don't be scared," Daniel said softly, his voice steady despite the storm of emotions within. "I'm here to help." Without a second thought, he scooped the youngest into his arms and ushered the others inside. The bakery's warmth enveloped them, coaxing faint color back into their pale cheeks. Daniel grabbed blankets from a storage closet, wrapping each child snugly, their shivers slowly easing. He hurried to the kitchen, warming milk and slicing fresh bread, then set the simple meal before them. "Hungry?" he asked, offering a gentle smile. "Eat up. It'll warm you." The oldest boy hesitated, his gaze darting to the window, but hunger won out, and he took a cautious sip. Daniel watched them eat, a knot of anger and confusion tightening in his chest. Who could leave these kids in the cold like this, he wondered, his eyes tracing their frail frames. Then he noticed something odd, a small emblem stitched onto their coats, a circle with a jagged K inside. "What's this mark?" he murmured, brushing his fingers over the symbol on the youngest's sleeve. The oldest boy jerked back, his voice a sharp whisper. "No, don't touch it. They'll find us." Daniel pulled his hand away, startled. "Who? Who's they?" The boy's lips trembled, tears welling as he shook his head, too afraid to answer. Daniel took a deep breath, steadying himself. He couldn't let fear take over, not now. He stepped outside again, scanning the empty street, the snow muffling any sign of life. The village lay quiet, but an eerie unease prickled his skin, urging him to act. Back inside, he grabbed his phone and dialed Sarah, his friend, and a deputy at the local sheriff's office. "Sarah, it's Daniel," he said when she picked up, his voice tight. "I need you here, now." "What's wrong?" Sarah asked, her tone shifting from sleepy to alert. "I found 4 kids abandoned outside the bakery," he explained. "They're scared, and something's not right." "Kids? Abandoned?" Sarah's voice sharpened. "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Daniel hung up, glancing at the children, who sat silently clutching their blankets. The oldest boy's eyes flicked to the window again, whispering, "They're coming." Daniel's stomach churned, but he forced a calm nod. "No one's taking you. I'll make sure of it. Soon, Sarah arrived, her sheriff's jacket dusted with snow, her keen blue eyes assessing the scene. "Where are they?" she asked, stepping inside, her boots leaving wet prints on the floor. Daniel pointed to the corner where the children huddled, their faces pale against the blankets. Sarah approached slowly, crouching to examine the emblem on their coats, her expression darkening. "Daniel, this symbol," she said quietly. "I've seen it before, linked to a trafficking network." "Trafficking?" Daniel's voice cracked, his hands balling into fists. "These kids?" Sarah nodded grimly. "It's a group operating across state lines. I'll need to confirm, but this fits." She turned to the oldest boy, her voice soft. "Hey, buddy, can you tell me where you came from?" The boy shrank back, his voice barely audible. "A big place. Cold. They said to be quiet, or else." Sarah exchanged a look with Daniel, her jaw tightening. "We've got to move fast." "I'll report this," she said, pulling out her radio. "But Daniel, if they're watching, you're in danger." Daniel's gaze hardened. "I don't care. These kids aren't going back to that." Sarah gave a firm nod. "You're a good man, but stay sharp. I'll get back up." As Sarah stepped outside to call for help, the bakery door creaked open again. A man entered, tall, impeccably dressed in a dark overcoat, his gray hair slicked back. Daniel recognized him instantly. Victor Crane, a name whispered in town with unease. "Good morning, Daniel," Victor said, his voice smooth as ice. "I hear your bread's the best around." Daniel forced a smile, his pulse racing. "Morning. What can I get you?" Victor's eyes drifted to the corner where the children sat, a faint smirk curling his lips. "Just passing through," he said, his gaze lingering. "Saw some kids here last time. Yours?" "No," Daniel replied quickly, stepping between Victor and the children. "Just a friend's. Temporary." Victor's smirk widened. "Temporary, huh? Nice place you've got. I'll take a loaf of rye." Daniel hurried to the counter, grabbing the bread, his mind screaming warnings. Victor paid and leaned in close, his voice dropping. "Be careful, Daniel. Some things aren't your business." With that, he left, the door swinging shut, leaving a chill that rivaled the winter air. Daniel turned to Sarah, who'd slipped back inside. "That was him, wasn't it?" "Victor Crane," Sarah confirmed, her face taut. "He's dangerous. We need to act now." Daniel's fists clenched. "He knows they're here. What do we do?" "We watch him," Sarah said. "I'll dig deeper, but keep this place locked tight." That night, Daniel moved the children to the bakery's attic, a cramped space he cleared for safety. He laid out blankets and pillows, creating a makeshift haven, their small forms huddling close. "Stay quiet up here," he told the oldest boy, Sam. "I'll keep you safe, I promise." Sam nodded, his voice small. "He's bad, mister. He'll come back." Daniel forced a reassuring smile. "Not if I can help it." As the children settled, Daniel sat downstairs, the bakery dark, his nerves on edge. Outside, a car lingered across the street, its engine idling, two shadowy figures inside. Sarah had warned him Victor might send scouts, and now they were here, watching. Daniel gripped his phone, texting Sarah. "They're outside. What now?" Her reply came fast. "Stay put. Patrols are coming. Don't engage." The car stayed all morning, a silent threat, until it finally drove off at noon. Daniel exhaled, but the relief was fleeting. He knew Victor wouldn't give up. That evening, as he cleaned up, Victor returned, this time with two men, their faces hard. "Evening, Daniel," Victor said, his tone sharp. "Let's talk about those kids." "There's nothing to talk about," Daniel replied, standing firm. "They're not here for you." Victor's eyes narrowed. "You don't get it, do you? They're mine. Hand them over." "No," Daniel said, his voice steady. "Leave, or I call the cops." One of Victor's men stepped forward, but a voice cut through from behind. "Back off," Sarah barked, emerging with her badge raised, 2 officers at her side. Victor smirked, unfazed. "You've got one day, Daniel. Think it over." He and his men left, but the threat hung heavy, a storm brewing on the horizon. Sarah turned to Daniel. "We can't wait. We're moving the kids tonight." "Where?" Daniel asked, his heart sinking at the thought of letting them go. "A safe house," Sarah said. "It's the only way until we nail Victor." That night, under cover of darkness, Sarah's team escorted the children to a van. Sam clung to Daniel's hand, whispering, "Don't let us go, mister." "I'm coming with you," Daniel said, climbing in beside them, his resolve unshaken. The safe house was a modest cabin miles away, guarded by deputies, warm and secure. Daniel stayed with the children, their trust in him a fragile lifeline in the chaos. Sarah briefed him later. "Victor's desperate. Those kids are his leverage." "What's the plan?" Daniel asked, exhaustion lining his face. "We've got a sting ready," Sarah said. "He'll come for them. We'll be waiting." Days passed in tense quiet, the children adjusting, their laughter a rare gift. Sam approached Daniel one morning, his voice soft. "Mister, why'd you help us?" Daniel smiled, ruffling his hair. "Because my dad taught me to protect what's right." Sam's eyes brightened. "You're like a dad to us." Daniel's throat tightened, a warmth spreading through him he hadn't felt in years. Then Sam hesitated. "I know where he kept others. A barn by the creek. Smelled like hay." Daniel's pulse quickened. "You're sure?" Sam nodded. "I heard the water running." Daniel called Sarah immediately, relaying the tip, hope flickering anew. Sarah mobilized her team, her voice crackling over the phone. This could end it. That night, deputies raided the barn, finding a dozen more children, scared but alive. Victor was there, caught mid-escape, his empire crumbling as cuffs snapped on his wrists. "You're done, Crane," Sarah said, her voice steel. "No more kids." Back at the safe house, Daniel waited, the children asleep, when Sarah called. "We got 'em," she said, relief evident. "The kids are safe, all of them." Daniel sank into a chair, tears pricking his eyes. Thank God. Sam woke, sensing the shift, and ran to Daniel. "Is it over?" "Yes, Sam," Daniel said, hugging him tight. "You're free." Weeks later, Victor faced trial, his trafficking ring exposed, sentenced to decades behind bars. The children from the crate found homes, Sam and his siblings with a kind local family. Daniel returned to Hearth Hope, the bakery quiet again, but forever changed. Sarah visited one snowy day, a letter in hand. "It's from Sam." Daniel opened it, reading Sam's scrawl. "Dear Mr. Daniel, I miss you. You're my hero." He smiled, folding the note. "We saved them, Sarah." "We did," she agreed. "You gave them hope." The bakery stood as a beacon in Willow Creek, a testament to one man's courage. As snow fell outside, Daniel kneaded dough, his heart full, knowing he'd kept his father's promise. If you like this story, please give it a like. Subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us sharing tales like this. We're so grateful. See you soon.